ꯇꯧꯔꯣꯏꯁꯤꯀꯣ ꯗꯤꯁꯀꯁꯟꯒꯨꯝꯕꯁꯤꯗꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯀꯩꯅꯣꯗ ꯇꯧꯒꯗꯕꯅꯤ ꯌꯥꯔꯦꯅꯀꯣ so anyway ꯍꯧꯔꯁꯦ ꯁꯣꯝꯅ ꯀꯣꯏꯁꯟ 50ꯅꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯇꯧꯗꯣꯏꯁꯦ ꯑꯗꯣ ꯖꯔ ꯂꯥꯎꯟ ꯆꯠꯄꯁꯨ ꯌꯥꯎꯅꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯑꯌꯥꯝꯕ ꯈꯪꯍꯟꯅꯤꯡꯉꯤꯗꯤ ꯅꯣꯏꯗ ꯀꯣꯏꯁꯟꯒ ꯑꯟꯁꯔꯒꯁꯤ ꯅꯠꯇꯦꯀꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯉꯁꯥꯏ ꯀꯩ ꯀꯣꯏꯁꯟ ꯁꯦꯝꯃꯤꯅꯣ ꯀꯗꯥꯏꯗꯒꯤ ꯅꯪꯅ ꯌꯦꯡꯒꯗꯕꯅꯣ ꯈꯣꯠꯀꯗꯕꯅꯣ ꯀ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯣꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯗ so question number 11ꯁꯤ ꯁꯤ ꯑꯟꯁꯔꯁꯦ ꯗꯥ ꯊꯤꯗꯗꯤ ꯌꯥꯔꯔꯣꯏ but I thought ꯑꯅꯤꯃꯛ ꯆꯨꯝꯕ ꯃꯥꯜꯂꯤꯀꯣ ꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯑꯟꯁꯔꯁꯦꯀꯣ ꯁꯣꯅ what is important here ꯁꯤꯗ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ important ꯑꯣꯏꯔꯤꯁꯦ ꯀꯩꯅꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯨꯅꯤ ꯗꯥꯅ ꯅꯣꯏꯗ ꯀꯩꯅꯣꯒꯤ ꯀꯣꯏꯁꯟꯒꯤ ꯊ꯭ꯔꯨꯗꯩ ꯈꯪꯅꯤꯡꯉꯤꯁꯦꯀꯣ ꯁꯣꯅ ꯏꯟꯗꯤꯌꯥꯗ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯏꯝꯄꯣꯔꯇꯦꯟ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ ꯏꯁꯨꯁ ꯈꯔ ꯂꯩ ꯂꯥꯏꯛ ꯄꯣꯚꯔꯇꯤ ꯏꯟꯏꯀ꯭ꯋꯦꯂꯤꯇꯤ ꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯩꯗꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯖꯦꯟꯗꯔ ꯏꯟꯏꯀ꯭ꯋꯦꯂꯤꯇꯤ ꯀꯣ ꯁꯤꯒꯨꯝꯕꯁꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯁꯤꯒꯨꯝꯕꯒꯤ ꯃꯇꯥꯡꯗ ꯑꯦꯅꯤ ꯔꯤꯄꯣꯔꯠ ꯑꯅꯧꯕ ꯑꯃ ꯊꯣꯛꯄ ꯃꯇꯝꯗ ꯃꯥꯒꯤ ꯁ꯭ꯇꯦꯇꯤꯁꯇꯤꯛꯁ ꯅꯠꯇ꯭ꯔꯒ ꯗꯥꯇꯥ ꯑꯅꯧꯕ ꯑꯃ ꯊꯣꯛꯄ ꯃꯇꯝꯗ ꯋꯤ ꯁꯨꯗ ꯕꯤ ꯀꯟꯁꯔꯟ ꯑꯕꯥꯎꯠ ꯏꯠ ꯀꯩꯅꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯕ ꯃꯇꯝꯁꯤꯗ ꯗꯤꯁ ꯑꯥꯔ ꯑꯦꯛꯆꯨꯋꯦꯂꯤ ꯗ ꯊꯤꯡꯁ ꯀꯣ ꯒꯣꯚꯔꯅꯦꯟꯁ ꯅꯠꯇ꯭ꯔꯒ ꯑꯦꯗꯃꯤꯅꯤꯁꯇ꯭ꯔꯦꯁꯟꯒꯤ ꯈ꯭ꯋꯥꯏꯗꯒꯤ ꯏꯝꯄꯣꯔꯇꯦꯟ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ ꯊꯤꯡꯅꯦꯕꯀꯣ ꯑꯦꯟ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯅꯪꯅ ꯑꯦꯗꯃꯤꯅꯤꯁꯇ꯭ꯔꯦꯇꯔ ꯑꯣꯏꯅꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯒ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯏꯟꯗꯤꯌꯥꯒꯤ ꯄꯣꯚꯔꯇꯤ ꯂꯦꯚꯦꯜ ꯀꯌꯥꯅꯣ ꯀꯌꯥ ꯂꯩꯔꯝꯕꯗꯒꯤ ꯀꯌꯥ ꯍꯟꯊꯔꯛꯏ ꯁꯤ ꯈꯪꯗ ꯇꯥꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯗ ꯗꯤꯁꯑꯦꯗꯚꯥꯟꯇꯦꯖ ꯑꯣꯏꯌꯦꯕꯀꯣ ꯁꯣ ꯗꯦꯠ ꯏꯁ ꯋꯥꯏ ꯗꯤꯁ ꯀ꯭ꯋꯦꯁꯟ ꯍꯦꯁ ꯕꯤꯟ ꯃꯦꯠ ꯑꯣꯀꯦ ꯁꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯄꯣꯚꯔꯇꯤ ꯑꯦꯁꯇꯤꯃꯦꯠꯁꯤ ꯃꯈꯜ ꯃꯈꯜ ꯂꯩ ꯑꯇꯣꯞꯄ ꯑꯥꯎꯠꯁꯥꯏꯠ ꯏꯟꯁꯇꯤꯇ꯭ꯌꯨꯁꯟꯅ ꯄꯤꯕ ꯂꯩ ꯏꯟꯗꯤꯌꯥ ꯃꯁꯥꯒꯤ ꯂꯩ ꯏꯚꯟ ꯅꯤꯇꯤ ꯑꯥꯌꯣꯒꯀꯤ ꯃꯁꯥꯒꯤ ꯂꯩꯀꯣ ꯁꯣ ꯗ ꯍꯥꯎꯁ ꯍꯣꯜ ꯀꯟꯖꯨꯝꯁꯟ ꯑꯦꯛꯁꯄꯦꯟꯗꯤꯆꯔ ꯁꯔꯚꯦ ꯕꯥꯏ NSSO ꯁꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯁꯤꯗ ꯀꯣꯏꯁꯟ ꯑꯅꯤ ꯈꯪꯕ ꯌꯥꯔꯦ ꯀꯅꯥꯅ ꯍꯥꯎꯁ ꯍꯣꯜ ꯀꯟꯖꯨꯝꯁꯟ ꯑꯦꯛꯁꯄꯦꯟꯗꯤꯆꯔ ꯁꯔꯚꯦꯁꯤ ꯀꯅꯥꯅ ꯇꯧꯏ NSSOꯅꯀꯣ estimate poverty below 5% ꯑꯁꯤ ꯆꯨꯝꯈꯤꯕ ꯃꯥꯜꯂꯦ ꯗꯥꯅ ꯈꯟꯕꯗꯀꯣ you guys need to double confirm it okay but ꯗꯥꯅ ꯈꯟꯕꯗ ꯆꯨꯝꯈꯤꯕ ꯃꯥꯜꯂꯦ ꯒ꯭ꯌꯥꯟ ꯇꯥꯏꯀꯣ ꯁꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯁꯤ ꯃꯇꯥꯡꯗꯁꯨ ꯗꯤꯁꯀꯁꯟ ꯃꯌꯥꯝ ꯇꯧꯈꯤ ꯈꯕꯔꯗꯀꯣ ꯂꯥꯏꯛ ꯀꯃꯥꯏꯅꯅꯣ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯅꯦꯁꯅꯦꯜ ꯐꯨꯗ ꯁꯦꯀ꯭ꯌꯨꯔꯤꯇꯤ ꯑꯦꯛꯇ I think 75% yes it was ꯅꯦꯁꯅꯦꯜ ꯐꯨꯗ ꯁꯦꯀ꯭ꯌꯨꯔꯤꯇꯤ ꯑꯦꯛꯇ ꯀꯣꯚꯔ ꯇꯧꯕꯗꯨꯕꯨ ꯀꯌꯥꯅꯣ ꯄꯔꯁꯦꯟꯇꯦꯖꯇꯨ ꯀꯥꯎꯔꯦ ꯑꯁ ꯌꯥꯗ꯭ꯔꯦ ꯀꯩꯅꯣ ꯇꯦꯔꯦꯁꯥ ꯀꯩꯗꯧꯔꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯅꯣ ꯗꯥꯂꯋꯥꯡ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯗꯣ MUꯗ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯣꯒ꯭ꯔꯥꯝ ꯑꯃꯒꯤ ꯆꯠꯂꯤ ꯀ꯭ꯂꯥꯁ ꯌꯥꯎꯕ ꯐꯔꯛ ꯇꯥꯔꯅꯤ ꯔꯦꯀꯣꯔꯗꯦꯠ ꯑꯣꯏꯅ ꯇꯥꯔꯒꯦ ꯗꯥꯂꯋꯥꯡ okay yeah you can I am already recording it National Food Security Act coverage I think it was 75% yeah so it was 75% rural dana urban dana Canada yeah yeah so na rural dana 75% urban dana 50% ko so man cover to so people were asking questions ko no na di poverty si swaina below 5 below 10 yam haidare ko thare hai but how come masai ko na chawa phangdaba National Food Security Act ta na hadi around rural ga urban ga 75% 50% pullaga hadi yeli si kai gino khotino na hangi ko so na many people estimate the estimate the poverty line okay so da so na poverty gi matang sida khoina hadi concept khar lai khangada hana di kaidawe poverty je khoina committee semaga torome like Tendulkar committee adagidi Rangarajan committee kaina ko so amada poverty line di concept chanarame so si mathakte hek poverty line je khoina rural gi lay urban gi lay so na ahambada di calorie da chanarame hadi se urban gi mi amana calorie kya nomada calorie kya chabada poverty chingi chingde haibado ka adedi calorie gi se paisa hotoka aduda lupa kya no khoibe haibdo oirame ko rural ga urban ga so adu matungdagidi poverty haisidi akhona multi dimensional oi chaba thakpada dangdang like the poverty nate chatnaba chanaba setnaba sandal chappal medicine expense education ke ga no yauraga kya layen hotli ka so adu dasu yamna kashu yam tana tade ka so na swaina ga laibine 1000 rural dana kana 1000 something 300 urban dana 1500 something amai laibine ko akhona estimate hot matam per day ni ka ana moina haije kana tha amada ngasai ge akhona kano per day da ko per day da magi swaina leibini ko da tha amada kya phang taragadi lupa kya phang taragadi hadi poverty line da leidono leiroidono haibagi question tongrame ko so do ana poverty gi swaina khoina poverty line hena toroga hadi rural ga urban ga toroga different criteria ma'am de honarame aduna si mathakta lalagadi poverty oije si makhada legadi poverty oyena so it was si je khoina yamna practical loidi natte kaina ha matan swai nappa lebinu party ga do hadi poverty di natre haire scheme ga gamta phangaroi aduga madi hadi si makhada hek leibuga do mana doini ko so aduna si je khoina policies and programs sembada masagi mi kya poverty line de lei kholi adu khangnabani ko ayambadi ko si hek ka si mathate leibu mi duna poverty oi de habdi ka su leite ko so na poverty ki concept se dum change tor lai India da ko ane aduga khwai last di khoina we are getting back into the real concept of poverty so poverty je khoina poverty line da calorie ke ka da chattabi da ngasai khoina deprivation da chale so deprivation di kaidawi so mi amana chana thakna phajana lembe ai but internet TV mobile later targadi masu a different kind of poor okay so aduga mi amana say mobile param bay gari cho param bay but chana thakna bada phajana compromise tor ka di this is also a different kind of poor ana aham bada koina poverty ji kaidawi ha matam sida poverty gi line da chatli ka so sida chana thakna ba pochai par lupa kya no oiraga lupa kya no thaki tham da chahi am da pathoga chahi am da si pesa phangba mi du di poverty oidre ana ka era so chahi am da si pesa phangba mi di poverty ana ko na di poverty ji kaidawi chatli like kogi socio-economic caste census 2011 da tawdu di poverty line ji ngasagi sida kan sida depend tawde deprivation da tawe so na criteria pa yung mga pi yum labor tabra adu mayam yenga ko so na deprive ba potu da hadi akoina scheme da target tawe yai ko so na se akoina yum labor mi du da akoina kena da yum sabagi poor ne na yum sabagi pesa pi ba kana de so yum leire khole nang literacy kaino TV mobile internet adu ta CP no hono ko so na poverty line ni concept se akoina concept change to lai but nonetheless all of these things are being used for not for practical purposes for but for akogi scheme ke ka sembagi da akogi study ke ka tawai da ko so mai to so na the household consumption expenditure survey by NSSO estimate poverty below 5% so si chumam no wale dana khan ko we need to check it again okay so similar next the India Human Development Survey by NACR and the University of Maryland estimate poverty at about 8.5%. So, si chumme. So, si the question si factual level yaure. So, poverty matang da, inequality matang da, gender matang da hang tara di adugi fact data do kangjelo. Aduga kana na to no have do kangjin de. For example, pekhada. So, hang tabida si hang panika. Which of the following agencies conducted the India Human Development Survey? NSSO, NACAR, adu da hang pe. So, si question di yaure hadi question ani ni yauri ko amana poverty ke ka gi leikre amana kanana to no have to ka adum le so now I think this answer is both one and two okay but we need to double check it okay when it comes to fact aju question same gi da ka shunin chang haude ko that is next time asida according to demographic trends in India which of the following factors primarily influence fertility rate across different religious communities so na fertility rate across different religious communities when yam tina social issues that yam tina discuss to upon it. So some people are saying that masaya when kanglup amana masaya po is agenda lay political agenda lay aduda mayam haine ko but it is all nonsense and kind of scientific when scientists kind of scientifically as well as economic data na disprove to theory ne ko adu so duna fertility di kai no hamatam sida nupi amna magi reproductive years hadi magi egg thoibo da magi reproductive organs ma'am magi macha pokpagi egg thoibo sida macha kya pokke hadu ne ko so da so na hadi prithvi se the world has already reached the replacement level okay hoji je hoina population ni matha sa ba I give it 10 years, the world is going to be worried about depopulation. Population sum handara ka doro ne ko. Kano da macha popagi changje nim therapy. So dana population per se should not be that issue. Issue ji kai no ha matam se yam khalaiba population hoina serve tongam do to ka. Adu per capita natraga standard of living serve tongam do to adu ne po mo se ka. Hoina population gi new look of that. So China has already abandoned it. Hojik China na India ki ji kai no ha matam se da. Mogi Thailand 1970s taugiba two child one child policy aduduna hadi maram moiga mogi after decades ko hadi adu impact lae so na moida hadi da military ki strength and might chi su leite yam jawani leite ong si loe matang hawat pangam da phim ne so na they have even they started to begin abandoning that one okay one child policy 2 3 dagi hang phim ne ko so ma so na Kuji kwena wagi population ji kwena China upka man bone it is going to reach its peak 10 years ka already haidar ani si ka si haidar ko dai we will be having a problem okay like na ai wife na da Japan ji ril mo le ko kamai taw ya matam Japan ji angang ji kyam aduki matik udaw kyam kuirege angang ji ko tourist man angang pu lak pa ka restaurant da chang ba mayam ji pra surprise na bi ne ko angang pam dana khotana sana dana udaw kuiram ni na kyan tayo na so na yam tina threat ne lay ka so na but si ako na ju kem to nga moy kaya no natin si ako na demographic ki may concept ni hay tayo ka so na fertility rate has nothing to do with religion or a particular ethnic or a particular community or genetic factor or government policies. Okay, ngam moy kasu. Indra nga dini tong no honor mi ngam de kasu ka. So dun abandon to ki ka. Ana kaida depend tawge ha matamsita ngasagi akhona regional disparities and socio-economic conditions. So moina atopa mayam hai. So akoina hai ka. So like say example yuani ka. So mai tegi masa poktre atopa tribal ni heli, Muslim ni heli, natraga Kuki ni heli haro, natraga India da ha Hindu masa pokpa handare, natraga kano na heli haro. Muslim community in Halia. It is very wrong, okay, to like link fertility rate with a particular ethnic group or a religious group. It has most to do with economic, socio-economic conditions, okay. So na nipi ma'ams na import oidraba, macha like educated oidraba, adagidi standard of living wang draba, adagidi socio-economic fajadraba, fertility rate adum wang ni, obviously. So it has been proved that ngasai akhona Mumbai da laiba Muslim community ga se Bihar da laiba Hindu community yengna matamda Bihar da laiba Hindu community sothaba socio-economic sothaba na wang. So duna akoina fertility rate palakpa matamdadi it has nothing to do with external factors but ngasai akoina socio-economic conditions ta yang makapole ko. So na this is a conceptual question, okay, economy conceptual question ka si je khoina dum hana de khangrab ni ka. So na so Manipur level mati pangan na suppose he mi khana dum hai ka. So I blame to de kaino da general satnavi londa ni ka mati pangan na hadi macha employees moi agenda lei kan to ni ka. So mati pangan ni pi ma'am se akoina mati pangan community se import tok se education health ka hadi macha pokpada si daba MMR adagidi IMR hengat hanseba aduga education piece import tok seba ka moi community ni pi hai tare ka si so or any other community ni pi ka for that matter ka ai ta ga di nang fertility rate handara ka ne so ni pi thabak tor ni pi thabak tor ta di angang okay na nang ji video ji kana thamge ka so na nupi je koina thabak to holokpa matamda hadi paisa tan bi lambi la pa matamda education to holokpa matamda macha pokpagi matam sangdorokani aduga macha kharna poga okay ai si isa ji thakpang namani he share ha padagi macha gi fertility to handarakani ko so na number 12 ke question is it's a conceptual question and it is B, okay. Adai number 13 ye. So dana 13 gi question ja it's a science and tech question but magi nungyo ba meaning du di kaino ha matam sida aina semai question ma'am se India da issue leba government of India na issue leba adu expert ma'am na government of India to honing ba and India yam ta ka ba question topic nga ta ne ko so na mathangi science and tech ki question ji kaino ha matam sida magi theme ji kaino ha matam sida India da kwai India gi hadi kaino ji da food chain sida yam soi ba podam le son ba podam le ko kaino ha yam mayam le son ba pod ka adi diversification to ngam da ba adi rice ka wheat ka da focus to ba sugar cane da focus to ba adi kind of water intensive crop da thawa issue me am le and one of the issue is kan ha matam sida refrigeration and one of the issue is refrigeration and warehouse ki problems storage ki problems so na noi paramani India da ngasai storage laitawdagi pot me amangi kholiena and storage laitawani na pot me am je koina food processing am focus storage ko food processing toksel ko selona ana cold storage kum je wat le India da ko so na cold storage sokhon na bagi scheme gi matang da pawe ya because it is important, okay, aduga science and tech ki matang da pawe so na cold storage se koina hanadi chlorofluorocarbons pe kana ma'am toromi but ozone harming oi bagi India su ngasai Kigali agreement adu da ma'am yawi ka haidi atop alternative thir ko and atop alternative ta kedoge ha matam sida akoina ammonia refrigeration ja sisi yawi ko the article was actually written for India gi cold storage natraga ngasai akoina storage capacity hengat na ba akoina adu da iwa article ne ko so na ammonia is commonly used in large scale industrial refrigeration. This one is true. Ammonia is an energy efficient refrigerant with zero global warming potential and zero ozone depletion potential. This is true, okay. So duna ammonia je phasan sinaba hore aduga da keno dudi thijendre kamaina no ammonia sna hadi ngasagi sigi property se lai je hadi ko ammonia is energy efficient refrigerant or je kaino aduga obviously global zero ozone depletion di ma ozone depleted over chlorofluorocarbons so you can your moreka aduga global warming yo na di si kano da greenhouse gases or moreka adu di am lai but kamaina ammonia na energy efficient refrigerant oi no haje nang science and tech te thijen bai ko hape ding bai ko background ti yeng ko so sigumba jidi hana akoina yam waram me thi bi ko hojiti ChatGPT level ni na ko ChatGPT 시나버 tamgadamnebako. Dam kanti yengiko. Why is ammonia? Why is ammo? Why is ammonia an energy efficient refrigerant? So why is ammonia an energy refrigerant aspirant? So na sida kon si science and tech question sinabi ay ko. So na hadi daanoy da kangani ngisi kaino hamatam sida akoy na it's not the question individual level question do not table ko but kay no question ji hang isi have ko so do ko so prithvi ano join to panina daano ko explain to ko so na question ji sini aduga akoy na why this question is being made hamatam sida India gi agricultural gi chain da masagi cold storage natraga warehousing natraga masagi akoy na storage ki oiwa issue yam lay adugine food ji manga ga hadi wastage oil ko so na if anything regarding cold storage natraga warehousing gi oiraba science and tech oigera policy oigera scheme oigera adugi portion do nangon important eba khangjin madam ne ko so my toroga ina si question si semapani because they were discussing about it okay so na akoina cold storage the wall is kaino yes akoina cold storage da improve tong nabadi ammonia si large scale industrial refrigeration sin nei hare so si statement ji chumme and ammonia si kai do ha matam sida global zero warming potential hadi greenhouse gases natte aduga ozone layer da ju harmful oide so sim ji chumme that is why it has been used in large scale industrial refrigeration yeah okay because nasagi akoina greenhouse gases ti handana ba tawri akoina aduga ozone layer di Montreal protocol to puka ka crack magi chlorofluorocarbons ma'am ko hydrocarbons ma'am ko adu so na ammonia ju sinari ko ana akoina mu yeng ba kai adu ta science and tech tam ka yeng ba kai you know ammonia is energy efficient refrigerant or is ko and the reason given is this okay like high latent heat of vaporization and ammonia has a high latent heat hadi masagi akoina it can absorb more heat per unit of refrigerant hadi masagi akoina ammonia ga atopa chang chap mana kilo low matamda hadi ammonia na heat hen absorb to ngamba ka adaidi akoina low compression work masagi akoina ammonia je compress ton honabada hadi masagi akoina energy yam changdaba ka adaidi akoina kaino ha matam sida ada akoina good heat transfer characteristics ka masagi magi high thermal conductivity and high transfer coefficient layu so si ma'am ji toroga ammonia si ngasagi koina yamna energy efficient refrigerant amo oi so aduga it has zero global warming and ozone depletion property ka so si so na akoina si question ji koina science and tech it akoina expect to ai ka so now both statement 1 and 2 are correct and statement 2 is the correct explanation of statement 1 okay yeah so see the join adum sab mane magi theme je ko dana adugi article do pa the mari mari sem thar pani ko kai na matam sida this has been an important issue for India gi asagi chain da ko so sida jo khoina kai na low carbon refrigeration system cooling system warehousing gi latoi ni ka sis ana sida lay ma'am se dana sem mani si the all of the above koi do ni ka ana sida lay with a message that hadi si ma'am je khoina India gi da cooling ji am wat pani na natraga refrigerant natraga cooling storage am wat pani na unlike other countries ko adu ne India da food wastage am hey kali university da kakhal chal ni space ah so duna hadi adugi team da semanina ammonia ge ma seme aduga si ma'am sin no science and tech da pasalo ko solar assisted cooling ko carbon dioxide refrigeration art art air heat exchanges ko aduga phase change material ko si je khoina science and tech da pasan be ai natraga video ma meng to si kamai torino kholino natraga ChatGPT da yam samdapna what is this my basics to hello ko sis to dadi ta aroge kaino da question discussion to ngina ko class to budi tak pa yawa ado question discussion to ngina da si di ta aroge ko si di noina ngasi ngasi mag yengo ko kaino ada masi cover da yaw pro pot nam ne ko so duna akoina ngasagi akoina cold storage yam important ni na si any nang science and tech ta any hang pa yawa ko so please make a note of this okay the next thing say, yeah, what is Project Jawar significant for Indian Army? Yeah, this one is important according to me. Okay, sis. So na hana ko na kada we hamatam sida India ka China ka ko na so line tong na so ko na kulai je dum yeng nei hai tai who are at the advantage who are at the disadvantage. So na ko na khanga do khali kai na hamatam sida China di Tibet lom de pai ka do ni they are already at a higher altitude India na pai khala ka do ne ko sis ana kamai to hamatam sida ꯂꯥꯟ ꯇꯧꯅꯗ꯭ꯔꯤꯉꯩꯗ ꯈꯨꯠꯁꯨ ꯈꯨꯠꯂꯥꯏ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯁꯨ ꯂꯣꯏ ꯌꯦꯡꯅꯩ ꯍꯥꯏꯇꯥꯔꯦ ꯁꯣ ꯐꯥꯏꯇꯔ ꯖꯦꯠ ꯀꯔꯝꯕ ꯌꯥꯅꯤ ꯀꯔꯝꯕ ꯌꯥꯔꯣꯏ ꯁꯣꯅ ꯆꯥꯏꯅꯤꯁꯀꯤ ꯐꯥꯏꯇꯔ ꯖꯦꯠ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯁꯦ ꯃꯣꯏ ꯃꯊꯛꯇꯤ ꯋꯥꯡꯅ ꯄꯥꯏꯗꯣꯏꯅꯤꯅ ꯗꯦ ꯑꯥꯔ ꯅꯣꯠ ꯗꯦꯠ ꯏꯐꯤꯁꯤꯌꯦꯟ ꯑꯣꯀꯦ ꯁꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯏꯟꯗꯤꯌꯥꯒꯤ ꯐꯥꯏꯇꯔ ꯖꯦꯠ ꯃꯌꯥꯝ ꯑꯗꯨꯒꯤꯅꯦ ꯏꯟꯗꯤꯌꯥꯅ ꯉꯁꯥꯏꯒꯤ ꯀꯩꯅꯣ ꯔꯥꯐꯦꯜ ꯇꯥꯟꯅꯔꯤꯁꯦꯀꯣ ꯔꯥꯐꯦꯜ ꯐꯥꯏꯇꯔ ꯖꯦꯠ ꯇꯥꯟꯅꯕ ꯑꯗꯩ ꯑꯦꯜ ꯁꯤ ꯑꯦ ꯇꯦꯖꯁ ꯀꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯁꯤꯗ ꯐꯥꯏꯠ ꯇꯧꯅꯕꯅꯦꯕ ꯇꯥꯟꯅꯔꯤꯁꯦ ꯁꯣꯅ ꯏꯟꯗꯤꯌꯥ ꯆꯩꯅꯥꯒꯁꯦ ꯂꯥꯟ ꯇꯧꯅꯗ꯭ꯔꯁꯨ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯁ꯭ꯇꯦꯟ ꯑꯣꯐꯇ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯂꯩ ꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯈꯨꯠꯂꯥꯏ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯁꯦ ꯌꯦꯡꯅꯩꯌꯦꯕꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯏꯟꯗꯤꯌꯥꯒꯤ ꯑꯥꯔꯃꯤꯒꯤꯗ ꯑꯋꯥꯠꯄ ꯈꯨꯠꯂꯥꯏ ꯑꯃ ꯂꯩꯔꯝꯃꯦꯕꯀꯣ ꯀꯩꯅꯣ ꯍꯥꯏ ꯃꯇꯝꯁꯤꯗ ꯍꯥꯏ ꯑꯜꯇꯤꯇ꯭ꯌꯨꯠ ꯀꯩꯅꯣꯗ ꯍꯥꯏ ꯑꯜꯇꯤꯇ꯭ꯌꯨꯠ ꯇꯦꯡꯛꯁ ꯀꯣ ꯕꯦꯇꯜ ꯇꯦꯡꯛꯁꯦ ꯋꯥꯠꯂꯦꯕ ꯆꯩꯅꯥꯒꯤꯗꯤ ꯍꯥꯏ ꯑꯜꯇꯤꯇ꯭ꯌꯨꯠ ꯕꯦꯇꯜ ꯇꯦꯡꯛꯁꯦ ꯇꯃꯥ ꯑꯃ ꯂꯩꯌꯦꯕꯀꯣ ꯁꯣꯅ ꯏꯟꯗꯤꯌꯟ ꯑꯥꯔꯃꯤꯅ ꯀꯩꯅꯣꯗ ꯍꯥꯏ ꯑꯜꯇꯤꯇ꯭ꯌꯨꯠ ꯄꯥꯝꯃꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯒꯤ ꯁꯣꯝꯅ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯣꯖꯦꯛ ꯖꯦꯔꯣ ꯋꯥꯔꯁꯦ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯍꯧꯈꯤꯕꯅꯦꯕ ꯑꯦꯟ ꯖꯦꯔꯣ ꯋꯥꯔꯁꯦ ꯀꯩꯅꯣ ꯑꯣꯏꯕꯅꯤꯀꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯊꯤꯅ ꯏꯟꯗꯤꯌꯥꯒꯤ ꯂꯦꯐꯇꯤꯅꯦꯟ ꯖꯦꯅꯔꯦꯜ ꯑꯥꯔꯃꯤꯒꯤ ꯑꯣꯐꯤꯁꯤꯌꯦꯜ ꯃꯃꯤꯡ ꯑꯃ ꯑꯣꯏꯕꯅꯤ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯂꯧꯔꯒ ꯊꯣꯟꯈꯤꯕꯅꯤ ꯋꯤꯆ ꯋꯥꯁ ꯕꯦꯔꯤ ꯐꯦꯃꯁ ꯋꯤꯠ ꯗ ꯀꯩꯅꯣ ꯏꯟꯗꯣ ꯆꯥꯏꯅꯥꯒꯤ ꯃꯇꯥꯡꯗ ꯋꯥꯔꯒꯤ ꯃꯇꯥꯡꯗ ꯅꯠꯇ꯭ꯔꯒ ꯃꯥꯒꯤ ꯁ꯭ꯇ꯭ꯔꯦꯇꯦꯖꯤ ꯃꯇꯥꯡꯗꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯣꯖꯦꯛ ꯖꯦꯔꯣ ꯋꯥꯔꯁꯦ ꯁꯤꯁꯤ ꯑꯣꯏꯕꯅꯦꯕꯀꯣ ꯁꯣ ꯀꯩꯅꯣ ꯍꯥꯏ ꯃꯇꯝꯁꯤꯗ it aims to develop a new generation of battle tank for high altitude and amphibious operation okay ꯁꯤꯁꯦ ꯀꯣ ꯁꯣ ꯏꯟꯗꯤꯌꯟ ꯑꯥꯔꯃꯤꯅ ꯔꯤꯀ꯭ꯋꯦꯁ ꯇꯧꯔꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯣꯖꯦꯛ ꯖꯦꯔꯣ ꯋꯥꯔꯁꯦ ꯁꯥꯈꯤꯕꯅꯤ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯅꯣꯏꯅ ꯑꯦꯛꯁꯇ꯭ꯔꯥ ꯌꯦꯡꯕ ꯌꯥꯕꯗꯤ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯣꯖꯦꯛ ꯖꯦꯔꯣ ꯋꯥꯔꯁꯤ ꯉꯁꯥꯏ ꯁꯤ ꯇꯦꯡ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯁꯦ ꯀꯅꯥꯅ ꯁꯥꯏ ꯏꯖ ꯗꯤ ꯑꯥꯔ ꯗꯤ ꯑꯣ ꯁꯤꯃ ꯌꯦꯡꯕ ꯌꯥꯏꯀꯣ ꯁꯤ ꯏꯖ ꯗꯤ ꯑꯥꯔ ꯗꯤ ꯑꯣ ꯑꯦꯟ ꯑꯗꯨꯗꯅ ꯌꯦꯡꯕ ꯌꯥꯏꯁꯦ ꯀꯩꯅꯣ ꯁꯤ ꯃꯦꯠ ꯏꯟ ꯏꯟꯗꯤꯌꯥ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ꯭ꯔꯥ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯉꯁꯥꯏꯒꯤ ꯏꯟꯗꯤꯖꯤꯅꯤꯌꯁ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ꯭ꯔꯥ ꯗꯤꯖꯥꯏꯟ ꯀꯩꯀꯥꯁꯦ ꯅꯠꯇ꯭ꯔꯒ ꯀꯔꯝꯕ ꯇꯦꯡꯀꯤ ꯀꯩꯅꯣꯗꯒꯤ ꯂꯧꯊꯣꯛꯄꯅꯣ ꯀꯔꯝꯕ ꯇꯦꯡꯀꯤ ꯗꯤꯖꯥꯏꯟꯗꯒꯤ ꯂꯧꯊꯣꯛꯄꯅꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯨꯃ ꯊꯤꯒꯠꯄ ꯌꯥꯏꯀꯣ ꯗꯣꯟ ꯑꯦꯛꯁꯄꯦꯛ ꯑꯦꯚ꯭ꯔꯤꯊꯤꯡ ꯑꯩꯉꯣꯟꯗ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯅꯣꯏꯕꯨ ꯇꯥꯛꯀꯅꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯒꯤ ꯑꯦꯛꯁꯄꯦꯛ ꯇꯧꯒꯅꯨꯀꯣ ꯅꯁꯥꯅ ꯊꯤꯖꯔꯒ ꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯊꯤꯕꯗꯨꯗꯒꯤ ꯈꯪꯍꯧꯕ ꯑꯦꯛꯁꯄꯤꯔꯤꯌꯦꯟꯁꯁꯦ ꯗꯦꯠ ꯏꯁ ꯚꯦꯔꯤ ꯏꯝꯄꯣꯔꯇꯦꯟ ꯑꯣꯀꯦ ꯑꯗꯨꯗꯣ ꯇꯧꯒꯗꯕꯅꯤꯀꯣ ꯁꯣꯅ ꯍꯟꯗꯛꯀꯤ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯤꯂꯤꯝꯁꯀꯤꯗꯤ ꯗꯤꯁ ꯋꯥꯟ ꯏꯁ ꯔꯤꯌꯦꯂꯤ ꯏꯝꯄꯣꯔꯇꯦꯟ ꯍꯥꯏꯇꯥꯔꯦ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯣꯖꯦꯛ ꯖꯦꯔꯣ ꯋꯥꯔ ꯁꯣ ꯁꯤꯗ ꯑꯦꯛꯁꯄꯦꯛ ꯑꯃ ꯌꯥꯎꯔꯦ ꯁꯤꯗ ꯑꯗꯩꯗꯤ ꯃꯊꯪꯒꯤ ꯑꯦꯛꯁꯄꯦꯛꯇꯅ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯣꯖꯦꯛ ꯖꯦꯔꯣ ꯋꯥꯔꯁꯦ ꯀꯅꯥꯅ ꯄꯥꯏ ꯀꯔꯝꯕ ꯑꯣꯔꯒꯅꯥꯏꯖꯦꯁꯟꯅ ꯄꯥꯏ ꯃꯥꯁꯦ ꯏꯟꯗꯤꯖꯤꯅꯤꯌꯁ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ꯭ꯔꯥ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯃꯥꯁꯦ ꯏꯟꯗꯤꯖꯤꯅꯤꯌꯁ ꯑꯣꯏꯗ꯭ꯔꯒ ꯀꯔꯝꯕ ꯇꯦꯡꯀꯤ ꯗꯤꯖꯥꯏꯟꯗꯒꯤ ꯂꯧꯊꯣꯛꯄꯅꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯣꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯃ ꯌꯦꯡꯉꯣ ꯅꯦꯛꯁꯇ Yeah. So consider the following statement regarding the Central Motor Vehicles Amendment. Yeah, handakti traffic ki matangda yam tawre. Kaino hai matamsida tawdawa yadaw. Because when traffic ki matangda yam important issues khal leire. That is accident nam leire. Adagidi kedoge hai matamsida nasagi pollution nam leire. So na gari mapunsi loiraba gari ma'am se. So ai dasu dum nang thaw uni maramata ko mapunsi loiraba gari ko hadi say for example aigi jum mam lei thaina to adu thaw yari buji khamra but mapunsi loire kaino my registration to chahi tranga kitane sangdo ke hai targadi you have to apply for nasai kaino and it has to go through strict kaino da magi emission adai di magi ngasai magi criteria ma'am to doine ba ko so na hana di akoina scrapping to policy lem de ana Delhi gida akoina air pollution ji kamaina kham godono haibagi rules ki kaino da matang sida scrapping of ngasai older vehicles se yawe ba but adu de hek to yadamni na public ki property de sokadam hek to yadamni na haidi tawdabane ko so na hadakti akoina motor vehicles rule natraga akoina traffic ki rules ma yam semdoni ka so fine tawe hengat pa khokat pa helmet uptabagi adu to wala to wa de e chalan ke ka mayam leironi hojik ti ko so na sigi akoina focus to da pon kaino ha matam sida India da accident da si mi dama am ya me ko sai guding accident da si adu ine akoina helmet upu haise ana helmet upu sina kyam kana ge ha do helmet upu ya de mai di hoyi kano da hoyi manipur gi ayam ba hai tai gyan ta na helmet upu sina am tin save to help nang khong tek pa ai khut tek pa ai khut sok pa ai thok pa ai but ko ki jaga je nang helmet upu no kal le gyan ta 67 of the person accident faculty se hel kano da kok to sok pa da oi kal le adu ta helmet upu na I 67% can be and a helmet is non-compromisable. I even have two, three helmets just in case one got broken or lost or something like that. Okay, I helmet is compromise of the helmet. Uptan thau ji huji bol chahi angang oi deng gari thau pas the helmet uptan thau ji aina khan the incident must be around 510. I helmet ka khundo ba kaw ba chahi ma'am sida hari helmet upo adu helmet upai kana bam na ko noi kamai to ngone ni pi ma'am ji ko helmet su upte gyan ta thau ji da masam ji sang thada masam jo ai jala adu phaje na khali hangde gyan ta na ko adu kok to kai di so di hadi pha phajaro ai ta aduga helmet upai nungai bam na hadi lambi ufun ma'am ji sam do pakte sam ji kem laude ko helmet option gram na ko so adu gi nungai bam ji le so the helmet upo hadi helmet se ukadam ne adu helmet kay uptoy no hay police na phada namni haybagi mentality du di topi na fay ka the helmet yaw na gari da yala ga dum uptaba adu su kana de ka adu helmet su quality level lay gadam ni ka like ꯗꯥꯜ ꯑꯩꯒꯤ ꯍꯦꯜꯃꯦꯠꯇꯨ ꯁ꯭ꯇꯤꯜ ꯕꯔꯠ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯀ꯭ꯋꯥꯂꯤꯇꯤ ꯂꯩ ꯑꯗꯒꯤꯗꯤ ꯑꯇꯣꯞꯄ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯀ꯭ꯋꯥꯂꯤꯇꯤ ꯂꯩꯕ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯊꯣꯡꯕꯗ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯁꯦꯐ ꯒꯥꯔꯗ ꯑꯣꯏꯒꯗꯕ ꯑꯗ ꯍꯦꯜꯃꯦꯠꯁꯤ ꯏꯚꯟ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯏꯝꯄꯣꯔꯇꯦꯟ ꯑꯣꯏꯒꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯕ ꯃꯇꯝꯁꯤꯗ ꯑꯃꯨꯛꯇꯪ ꯑꯦꯛꯁꯤꯗꯦꯟ ꯊꯣꯛꯎꯕꯗ ꯑꯅꯤꯔꯛ ꯁꯨꯅ ꯁꯤꯖꯤꯟꯅꯕ ꯌꯥꯗꯦꯕ ꯍꯦꯜꯃꯦꯠꯁꯦꯀꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯏꯠ ꯏꯁ ꯀꯝꯄ꯭ꯔꯣꯃꯥꯏꯁ ꯍꯥꯏꯅ ꯈꯟꯒꯗꯕꯅꯦꯕꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯑꯇꯣꯞꯄ ꯁꯤꯟꯒꯗꯕꯅꯦꯕꯀꯣ ꯁꯣ ꯁꯤꯒꯨꯝꯕ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯁꯦ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯈꯪꯗꯦ ꯌꯥꯝꯅ ꯁꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯃꯥꯏꯅ ꯇꯧꯔꯒ ꯍꯟꯗꯛꯇꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯃꯣꯇꯣꯔ ꯚꯦꯍꯤꯀꯜꯁ ꯔꯨꯜ ꯑꯗꯩꯗꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯇ꯭ꯔꯥꯐꯤꯛꯀꯤ ꯑꯗꯩꯗꯤ ꯑꯦꯛꯁꯤꯗꯦꯟꯒꯤ ꯔꯨꯜꯁ ꯃꯌꯥꯝ ꯁꯦꯝꯗꯣꯛꯄꯅꯦꯕꯀꯣ ꯑꯦꯟ ꯗꯤꯁ ꯏꯁ ꯋꯥꯟ ꯑꯣꯐ ꯗꯦꯝ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯀꯩꯒꯤꯅꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯕ ꯃꯇꯝꯁꯤꯗ ꯂꯥꯏꯐ ꯑꯦꯟ ꯏꯟꯚꯥꯏꯔꯣꯟꯃꯦꯟꯇ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯁꯣꯛꯍꯟꯕ ꯑꯣꯏꯕꯀꯣ ꯁꯣ ꯌꯦꯡꯁꯦ ꯁꯣ ꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯑꯦꯃꯦꯟꯃꯦꯟꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯃꯇꯨꯡ ꯔꯨꯜꯁꯤ ꯃꯇꯨꯡ ꯏꯟꯅ the registration of all government-owned vehicles shall be cancelled after 15 years from their initial registration date. Yeah, sima chumme. Government ki gari khudimok chahi tranga hello khudimok. It should be scrap. Okay. Special purpose vehicles for defense and security purpose. Obviously, had the defense ka security purpose ka gidi vehicles ma'am gidi. Had they are exempted probably in the name of national interest or masagi security interest. Okay. Ado yang sida. So sima chumme. Rosima, yeah. Private vehicles are also subject to compulsory scrapping after 15 years under this amendment. No, private vehicles ki di akoina plan di lay aduga adu high di high nay expert ma'am no way and to but government na kasagi private vehicles ki di akoi huji po di yaw ba sis. But you can read more on these rules, okay? Because important over rules ne hai tayo which is in operation today, okay? Yeah, so the answer is kind of 1 and 2 only. Yeah, A or yeah, aduga number 17 question. So this is a very important question which I am very proud of, okay? Kay no ha matam sida ayamba akoina mock test series tha matam sida oja ama ji question semba hai oje question semba hai tage ha bje kamaina khangni ha matam sida question semba hai tabo ja mayam sidi kano chat kane ba ko pot amada question semba mo lotion ne aduga exam experience layer ba question semba hai bo ja mayam gi my quality ji kamai khangni and which is actually done by UPSC also kamai ka chani ha matam sida pot ama da hena ani hum lama ngamne ba ko kyan ta na ko sis kyan ta so this is one of the question, okay, where asai ge hoina question semba hai ta mina sem ta ge yes lieutenant go kind the LG of Jammu and Kashmir jama important way khangba other question semba ma natraga ngasagi akoina kanoda akoina lebak sida akoina handak sa issue yeng pa matam sida lieutenant governor LG of Delhi, LG of kanoda Jammu and Kashmir governor of Manipur and Nagaland cover them to in your report amane gyan ta na ko so duna akoina sida UPSC ki question attract to because it has been in the newspaper, okay. So now this question I'm really proud of kay ha matam sida this is really UPSC standard question, okay. So now what I try to do with this question is that Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir ga Lieutenant Governor of Delhi ga compare to one. So Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir je koina handakta kan hui jing the form to one ngasai ye koina Jammu and Kashmir state to their union territory ani thona khaido podu ko. So no my certain powers be my aduga obviously Delhi da because of political haigadra natraga article 239 AA haigadra ko the LG of Delhi also got certain power, okay. So adu need to comparison to one ko so number one saying the LG of Delhi has more control over police, public order, and land comparing to the LG of Jammu and Kashmir. I don't think so. This is wrong. The LG of Delhi in this three aspect has to work on the bidding of center. It has no control, okay? It has no control whatsoever. Only the central government Ministry of Home Affairs has the control. So this statement is wrong. The LG of Jammu and Kashmir has the power to dissolve the Legislative Assembly, whereas the LG of Delhi does not. Yeah, this seems correct. Hadi LG gi ngasagi ahanbagi Legislative Assembly ani thona kairakpagi ko LG the certain executive power, legislative power p ko and this one seems to be correct. Okay, aduga LG of Delhi does not. Yeah, sisu correct ko. So I think this one is correct. Okay, in case of disagreement with the elected government, both LGs can refer the matter to the president matter. So this is correct, okay. So this is obvious, okay. Adi let them Canada, they are ruling under the union territory under the Canada Parliament as well as the central makal this seems correct, okay. So now how many of the statement given is or above are two? Only two. Adi 2 and 3 way. Ado si 2 gi powers yam tang yengo ka. Has it been specifically mentioned na namtang yengo ka? But the league di late ka. He cannot do anything about Legislative Assembly. The league Supreme Court yung nawam na kayo na hamatam sila. The league Lieutenant Governor na ꯀꯩꯅꯣꯗ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ IAS ꯅꯠꯇ꯭ꯔꯒ ꯑꯣꯜ ꯏꯟꯗꯤꯌꯥ ꯁꯔꯚꯤꯁꯦꯁ ꯃꯌꯥꯝ ꯇ꯭ꯔꯥꯟꯁꯐꯔ ꯇꯧꯕ ꯈꯣꯠꯄ ꯌꯥꯏ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯒꯤ ꯄꯣꯠꯇꯨꯗ ꯗꯦꯜꯂꯤ ꯒꯣꯔꯃꯦꯟꯒ ꯈꯠꯅꯔꯒ ꯁꯨꯄ꯭ꯔꯤꯝ ꯀꯣꯔꯠ ꯌꯧꯋꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯒꯤ ꯔꯥꯏꯗꯨꯁꯨ ꯑꯝꯇꯪ ꯌꯦꯡꯊꯣꯛꯎꯀꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯁꯨꯄ꯭ꯔꯤꯝ ꯀꯣꯔꯠ ꯑꯦꯒ꯭ꯔꯤꯠ ꯗꯦꯠ ꯏꯠ ꯏꯁ ꯋꯤꯠ ꯗꯤꯌꯔ ꯀꯩꯅꯣꯗ LGꯒꯤ ꯃꯈꯨꯠꯇ ꯂꯩꯌꯦꯅ ꯑꯗꯨꯃꯥꯏꯅ ꯇꯥꯈꯤꯕꯅꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯌꯦꯡꯊꯣꯛꯎꯀꯣ ꯁꯣꯝꯅ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯍꯪ ꯂꯩꯕ ꯄꯣꯠꯅꯦꯕ ꯀꯩꯅꯣꯗ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯏꯝꯄꯣꯔꯇꯦꯟ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ ꯗꯦꯜꯂꯤꯒꯨꯝꯕ ꯃꯐꯝꯗ ꯉꯁꯥꯏꯒꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯀꯟꯁꯇꯤꯇ꯭ꯌꯨꯁꯟꯒꯤ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ ꯃꯨꯛꯅꯔꯛꯄ ꯑꯣꯏꯕꯁꯨ ꯀꯣ ꯁꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯗ ꯀꯣ ꯁꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯍꯪ ꯂꯩꯕ ꯄꯣꯠꯅꯤ ꯑꯦꯟ ꯖꯃꯨ ꯑꯦꯟ ꯀꯥꯁꯃꯤꯔꯒꯤ LG ꯏꯁ ꯀꯃꯤꯡ ꯏꯟ ꯇꯨ ꯗ ꯐ꯭ꯔꯦ ꯁꯣ ꯁꯤ ꯑꯅꯤ ꯀꯝꯄꯦꯔꯤꯖꯟ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯌꯦꯡꯕ ꯌꯥꯏꯑꯕꯀꯣ ꯁꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯗ So next is a very factual question. Global Findex report kana tawno it is a World Bank na tawni ka. So na Global Findex report sida kay haige do noy yeng bai. Just haidi magi executive summary do yeng bai ado noy yeng tho ka sidi. But yeah, UPSC either asks ngasai kana na publish tawi haiba ma hangani natraga summary da yaw ba India gi rank kay ka gi adu matang da ma hangani ka. So this one is very easy. Yeah. So next, census ki issue lakpa hore huzi India da ka. Kaya na hama tamsida census si 2021 da thokadam ne. But COVID ke ka laiwaga adu tobaga thoktre. Adu ju huzik shu census ki notification je thoktre ka. 2019 da census torni na thoe ade COVID laibida gi thokre huzi bok thoktre ka. Ana census si mayam na haina ba hore ebo ka. Kaya no what census is very important. Why it is not doing so ana ka. Ana census ki matang da koina khang baji ta ka we. Census ki matang di ba question je da no remind to ba sidang na tebo ka. So many questions regarding census are there. Okay, from the basic questions, census si kanan to we kamaina to we census ta hangbo question kay no census ta town je karamano census the village je kay no ka census ta chahi kya de kya wo the literacy lowi literate when lowi literacy when lowi am laigre census si kano question da kyan ta na ko when census 2011 was there hadi we usually use these things. Okay, and hujik census ki issue je covered am discuss toromina hadi it is proper we go back to it. Okay, for example census that 0 to 7 years 0 to 7 years are automatically included in non-literacy literate or the population and low ko so aduga hadi akhona census ki town ki definition mi kya laiga kya laiga hill dana kya tam dana kya aju ma'am low ko so na census ki matang da mutang revision to way handaki prelims ki oina ka so na I just made a one question as a reminder. Okay, okay, you know how much it was there. It was being discussed in the newspaper article and editorial from where I made this question. Okay. ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯤꯊꯤꯕꯤ ꯑꯅꯧꯕ ꯌꯥꯎꯔꯛꯄꯗꯣ ꯁꯣ ꯅ ꯗꯥ ꯍꯣꯏ ꯁꯤꯁꯦ ꯀꯩꯅꯣ ꯇꯧꯕꯅꯤꯀꯣ ꯍꯟꯗꯛꯀꯤ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯤꯂꯤꯝꯁꯀꯤ ꯃꯣꯛ ꯇꯦꯁ ꯊꯥꯕ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯗꯨꯒꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯀꯣꯏꯁꯟ ꯗꯤꯁꯀꯁꯟ ꯇꯧꯕꯅꯤ ꯅꯪꯁꯨ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯌꯦꯡꯕ ꯌꯥꯏ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯀꯣꯏꯁꯟ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯁꯤ ꯃꯤꯉꯣꯟꯗ ꯁꯤꯟꯕ ꯅꯠꯇꯦ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯏꯁꯥꯅ ꯑꯣꯔꯤꯖꯤꯅꯦꯜ ꯁꯦꯝꯕ ꯉꯥꯛꯇꯅꯤ ꯄꯣꯂꯤꯇꯤ ꯑꯣꯏꯒꯦꯔꯥ ꯑꯗꯩꯗꯤ ꯑꯩꯒꯤ ꯑꯣꯏꯒꯦꯔꯥ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯑꯇꯣꯞꯄ ꯑꯣꯖꯥꯒꯤ ꯑꯣꯏꯒꯦꯔꯥ ꯋꯤ ꯗꯤꯃꯥꯟ ꯗꯦꯠ ꯀꯣꯏꯁꯟ ꯁꯨꯗ ꯕꯤ ꯑꯣꯔꯤꯖꯤꯅꯦꯜ ꯑꯦꯟ ꯇꯨ ꯗ ꯇ꯭ꯔꯦꯟ ꯑꯦꯟड ꯄꯦꯇꯔꯟ ꯑꯣꯐ ꯗ UPSC. ꯑꯣꯀꯦ ꯁ꯭ꯇꯦꯟꯗꯔꯠ ꯂꯩꯕꯗꯣ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯑꯣꯏꯒꯗꯕ ꯑꯗ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯄꯨꯁꯦꯝ ꯁꯦꯝꯕ ꯅꯠꯇꯦ ꯃꯔꯝ ꯂꯩꯔꯤꯅꯤꯀꯣ ꯁꯣ ꯄꯨꯁꯦꯝ ꯁꯦꯝꯕ ꯑꯣꯏꯇꯥꯔꯗꯤ answer ki pithoga yare but akhoi discussion to kai no da kamai semino kai semino so that we are trying to pass our experience exam experience in the pass to ga no su pa matam da natra no prepare to matam da hadi integrate to ga kana namne ko sis ana yang se census act for 1948 mandate that the census be conducted every 10 years. No. The X in the mandate of the it was a general pattern and trend. Okay, X in a kashu mandate of the ka sis. So there is no such thing that X is not chahita according census to. Even though the pattern has been like the chahita according census to wagi pattern later tar kasu census act chahita according to wouldn't have kashu later ka. Otherwise, the census is used for delimitation of parliamentary and assembly constituency. Yes, when a parliamentary and assembly constituency, the population low is when a census the best already. That is why when 1971, when a constituency kya we have to see the free story dunika. Aduga population kya no have to see the free story low. However, saya when a cell capacity 2001 di census ta mogi constituency kaido ka so my taroga so na si chumdo ni ado tardi which one of the following is correct na tayo lalam ka but lantar ga so when yeng sika like the NSSO survey and the National Family Health Survey do not use census data. Similarly, they also use census data apart from their own data. Okay. Look at the census provides that is crucial for the implementation of MG Narega. No, this one is wrong. Okay. MG Narega say, MG Narega say, karamba kano sin again. Do they use SECC? I don't. Yengo ka. I see tigalam ka. MG Narega use census or SECC data. I think it was SECC. Yeah. So MG Naregagina census na to adi ngasagi ko na kenogi keba socio-economic class census to aduda hadi base toroga ngasagi MG Narega lawni. So this one is wrong, okay? So sumay na ka. The next question da yeah, this question is very important, yeah. So this question is very important. So doon na ako na kano ako na sa mafam da ako na hadi mineral yam lay mafam da ako na export to especially Odisha, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh ka mineral yam lay mafam da export to. So mineral lokto pa hai mining to pa hai mafam dugi mo na shok to ni ka hadi my environment shok to ni cultural gi right shok to ni the forest shok to ni no shok to ni ka and people especially tribal people so to ni so na India gi mining to magi matang sida yam issue mayam lay ko ana India gi mining to busida koina hadi magi mining gi fundam lay like DMF ina ka I think it was DMF, right? District mining DMF ina amo lay usida ni jang ni da ka ja Mineral Area Development Authority. No, no, no. I did develop era. So where they go? Mining fund name hai tam ni ko. No, no, no. India. Era DMF mining. Yeah, District Mineral Foundation ka. District Mineral Foundation the fund nam lay ke the funds yeah District Mineral Foundation na ka so na hadi mining to riba mafam du gi da akoina di District Mineral Foundation ana lay se na mining de gi la pa pot am da sida fund no changaga adu mafam du gi ngasai gi magi chokot tharang gi natraga people gi natraga mining na so lo man du gi hoina sem ga to pot ne ba si ana hui se ke do gi ha matam sida Supreme Court case am lai that is kaino ha matam sida ngasai gi koina mafam amda layba minerals mayam sida state na tax impose to yabrana ka so na mo yam kan yet and this case name is MD Mining Area Development Authority versus MS Steel Authority of India si oido ne ko so ana si case important noi kaino hada DMF ke kaso important noi mining gi matang because it affects people ni na ka aduga mining je koina control to se Mines and Minerals Act 1957 na tawe ka sis MMDR Act hai ka and the Supreme Court na kamay na rule tage ha matam sida yes Supreme Court rules that masagi state have the authority to impose tax on the mineral kay na ha matam sida MMDR explicitly piram den ha and aduga I have gone through this judgment and this case also and the center na yet pas na kay na ha matam sida MMDR na specifically piram da sa sinani hoina state na tax to ba yade na specifically pi da sa sinani hoina state na tax to ba yaro sineba mo na ha ka ana Supreme Court haisina hujiki leba MMDR Act di adi aduguma amte yaudawni state have the authority to impose tax on minerals and haibuka kaino ha madam sida the reasoning was MMDR Act ta hadi ngasai ye koina state na mineral rights that hadi tax loba ya de minerals the tax loba ya de haise yaudi haibagi nebuka lois so na parliament can amend the law and then they can specifically say that adu matungda mo Supreme Court lakini kamay tawni yang but hujiki oina di ngasai ye koina state can tax the ngasai koina kano da mineral kano da minerals ko kano da apart from the ngasai central na tawjaba duna so na both statement 1 and 2 are correct and statement 2 is the correct explanation of statement 1 okay. Next thing was that which of the following factor is cited as a possible cause of health, high wealth concentration in India? Yeah, India the wealth inequality ma'am like so much wealth is concentrated in the 1% of the the population, okay? And the remaining percent di amna phang bukot po ide buka atu. So na sum yeng matang sida ka kari no ni yeng pa matang sida ko na yeng sika. So ko na see articles kitang eye opening oi. I thought that India gi tax to GDP ratio is phajade na khan bane buka. Yes, improve to wudi kasu kaide adi tax theory jiga ka akoina tax theory jiga GDP kya oi have jiga ka. So na GDP hengal lai gai kaidoni ha matam sida tax na handara natraga tax na normal layaba GDP hengalaiga India gi tax to GDP ratio ji maka handara kani kaino da koi GDP ma hadi denominator na chawni na so na hadi CG pochine and adu article lo yam eye opening it was not editorial article, it was an opinion article. So na kamay to yam matam sida India tax is tax to GDP ratio is some 17% amay no way hadi lupa chama ka matam sida tax lupa GDP na chama oy matam sida 17% hadi khoi tax te phange kana tax phange ko so so mani yeng pa matam sida world gi khoina overall tax to GDP ratio yeng matam sida adum around side the lay ko adu even China, which is like 4 to 5 times GDP of India, ka lower in tax to GDP ratio in than India. This was a fact. Okay, this was an eye opener. Okay, I was also surprised that as you tax to GDP ratio yes, but India has already done I think good enough comparing to world and China in terms of tax to GDP ratio. Okay, so now the tax to GDP ratio in India is significantly lower than in other developing countries, which is wrong. Okay, so India is better in a sense. Okay, the government has imposed heavy restriction on asset monetization by entrepreneurs. Real estate price in India have remained. No, this one is wrong. Real estate price have been like fluctuating. Okay, so the question is which of the following is cited as a possible cause of high wealth concentration in India? Yeah, so high wealth concentration, inequality am so Indian financial market are more developed and globally competitive compared to other emerging economies si je chumme Canada Indian financial market are more developed and globally competitive. Yeah, si chumme even India gi stock exchange nifty ke ga je yam thina competitive way. So si oirega di kedo ga matam sida wealth concentration je koina lay oidabne ba and si even si oina the wealth concentration lay. This is not the reason. Okay, even though this statement is chumta this is not the reason. Okay, duga da si seems oidre lower oidre. The government has imposed heavy restriction on asset monetization by entrepreneurs. Si oigum tawni da se kitang confuse le ka do si is na kamay na well do kamay na ero na. Okay, the real seasonal lale the si chumdi chumme statement ji ka do seasonara have dum ti yeng ka question ji ka lui question ji ka India's financial market are more developed and globally competitive comparing to the other emerging economies. So this is correct, okay? But si later gadi high wealth si chumdi chumba statement ni ko aduga si later gadi akoina high wealth concentration je lay roidabni ko. So na even though this statement is correct, this is not the reason for high wealth the answer ji kai ta do no ha matam sida si ta do ne ba ko. So si matang ji yeng si ba ko, si matang ji yeng si ba ko. The government has imposed heavy restriction on asset monetization by entrepreneurs ko haidi si matang si ka so na si explanation je khoina kamai tong ni ha matam si da so huzik paisa pai ba Adani Ambani adai Tata ke ka mem si moi asset si moi paisa mem si kai de legi ha matam si da moi kano de lebe ne ko kasai moi stocks and shares de lebe ne ko ana moi paisa pai stocks and share de lebe ne ko so na moi paisa si da khoina asset monetization to matam da so moi paisa je khoina asset monetization to ga sin na thukti kai no ni yeng matam da ke do ha matam si da government gi restrictions khar lei oi bne ko adu gi ne da si mutang phasane explain to ge I am not satisfied with what is in my mind. Okay, so the same thing explain to you, but the answer is going to be this one. Okay, but the reason to kay have to ka. So I was reading this complex article. Yung complex way ka. What he's talking about like Adani Ambani Tata ke kagi stocks and shares may am lay ka. So na will si mo dum like crore billions ki ka. Aduga yung ako na dum tarang ni like Adani dinong mo da lupa crore adamange kind of stock and share da. Ana moina asset monetization tawrkanda dui paisa mayam du moina thadagada khothagada tawbudu thadadabida dum stock ta dum lai kaigino moina du asset monetization tawdrise mingonda pithok natrag invest tawdrise kaigino ha matam sida government gi ngasai asset monetization tawda heavy restrictions high taxes kumba laibuda adugi oye ko na dum asset dum thamba ni asset ti mamando dum market ta sanabni na kedoge ha matam sida moji millionaire oye dum laiba hai ta ko so si sumaina adugi reasoning du ne ko adu dam tang let me clarify this one. Okay, I have to reread that article, long article. It was a long article. So adu poto ka. Yeah. This one is very important. Okay, this one is very important. Polity point of view is important, right? Kay na hamatam sila ako na judiciary ki question mo ito ni ka. By the way, do any one of you knows this answer? Which of the following court has the direct power to supervise trial courts in India? ꯏꯈ꯭ꯔꯕ ꯅꯝꯕꯔ ꯗꯥꯏ ꯍꯣꯁꯄꯤꯇꯥꯜ ꯆꯠꯂꯨꯈꯤꯒꯦ ꯔꯦꯀꯣꯔꯗꯤꯡ ꯌꯦꯡꯉꯒꯦ ꯑꯣꯀꯦ ꯑꯣꯀꯦ ꯁꯤꯌꯣꯔ ꯁꯤꯌꯣꯔ yeah, so this is the High Court. High Court, okay? We may think that it is the Supreme Court or something, but it is going to be the High Court, okay? Kaya na matam sida, yes, Supreme Court na District Court kaya yengsin biya, but not directly through High Court. And High Court na state to the layo po ni na magi trial court, the District Court, Session Court are all trial courts, okay? Sida High Court na yengsin gadaw niya ko. So na ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯍꯧꯖꯤꯛꯐꯥꯎꯗ ꯖꯨꯗꯤꯁꯤꯌꯔꯤ ꯄꯥꯕ ꯃꯇꯝꯗ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯁꯥꯇ꯭ꯔ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯅ ꯁꯣꯏꯕ ꯄꯣꯠ ꯑꯃ ꯂꯩ ꯁꯣ ꯗꯦ ꯑꯥꯔ ꯔꯤꯗꯤꯡ ꯁꯨꯄ꯭ꯔꯤꯝ ꯀꯣꯔꯠ ꯂꯣꯏ ꯄꯥꯔꯦ ꯍꯥꯏ ꯀꯣꯔꯠ ꯌꯧꯔꯦ ꯂꯣꯏ ꯄꯥꯔꯦ ꯑꯗꯨꯗꯩ ꯋꯥꯊꯔꯛꯑꯦꯕꯀꯣ ꯁꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯗꯦ ꯌꯨꯖꯨꯋꯦꯂꯤ ꯗꯨ ꯅꯣꯠ ꯒ꯭ꯔꯦꯗ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯁꯥꯇ꯭ꯔꯗꯁꯨ ꯅꯠꯇꯦ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯀꯣꯆꯤꯡꯗ ꯃꯐꯝꯗ ꯇꯥꯛꯄ ꯃꯇꯝꯗ ꯗꯦ ꯌꯨꯖꯨꯋꯦꯂꯤ ꯇꯤꯆ ꯁꯨꯄ꯭ꯔꯤꯝ ꯀꯣꯔꯠ ꯑꯦꯟ ꯍꯥꯏ ꯀꯣꯔꯠ ꯑꯣꯟꯂꯤ ꯑꯦꯟ ꯅꯣꯠ ꯗ ꯂꯣꯋꯔ ꯀꯣꯔꯠꯁ ꯑꯣꯀꯦ ꯕꯠ ꯍꯧꯖꯤꯛ ꯂꯣꯋꯔ ꯀꯣꯔꯠꯁꯤ ꯍꯪꯕ ꯍꯧꯗꯣꯔꯕꯅꯦꯕꯀꯣ ꯍꯪꯕ ꯍꯧꯔꯕꯅꯦꯕꯀꯣ ꯂꯥꯏꯛ ꯃꯨꯟꯁꯤꯞ ꯀꯣꯔꯠ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯁꯦꯁꯟ ꯖꯁ ꯑꯗꯨꯒꯤ ꯗꯤꯁꯇ꯭ꯔꯤꯛ ꯖꯁ ꯀꯩꯀꯥꯒꯤ ꯍꯪꯕ ꯍꯧꯔꯕꯅꯦꯕꯀꯣ ꯁꯣ apart from Supreme Court and High Court, you guys should need to know the District Court, Session Court, adaydi ngasagi Municipal Court, aduda lower courts mayam je paba tamo ko kana khalli khalai OBI magi officer just session judge oi hata di kaino mai makhada kana lai si mayam je paba tamo gyan ta na ko kaino da hangba hore because Supreme Court High Court ta hangningai question yaudre ko so yeah na so next, yeah, this one is one of the most important. Okay, this one is the one of the most important topics. Okay, so now see the important amendana. I highlighted like canopy whenever down like three questions I have done. Okay, on green skill still taxonomy has and three questions so that you guys will not miss it. Okay, see the kamta chatting I green still taxonomy haraga PIB de pa. PIB dagi full day arm ka so si wari ji kamai la khin ha matam sida India ga important ba expect am lay kai no ha matam sida European Union na kedo ga ha matam sida mogi CABM gi mechanism activate tore ba CABM gi ke ba carbon assisted business monitoring have something I don't know hadi CABM gi mechanism di impose to hore ba habadi nangna akhoi de import tor pot khudi makta magi carbon kai de to godam ne khot kadam ne ji yaw de ne adu mana import to matam sida steel gi sina khwai dagi impact to dure India kai no ha matam sida India da world yeng daru matam da India da steel lama puthokpada changiba ngasai gi akhoi na emission intensity je India na khoi wange gyan ta aduna habadi India gi steel ma'am je Europe da changma ngamoidore so na India je yam thuna ngasagi magi steel gi industry je decarbonization to hore gyan ta na kai no da world gi trade te yaw gi hai tar ga di so na India na ke do ga ha matam sida yam strict oina ngasagi ministry ma'am to ga green steel taxonomy je puthorok pane ko so na green steel taxonomy da steel je first grade second grade third grade fourth grade fifth grade or ngasai grade khaidoi ana grade khaidok pasida karamba grade sina green steel oidoin ha matam sida 5 star green steel rated steel steel power na te ko carbon emission da quite name ba habani ko steel power na te ko so na sigi 5 star gi carbon steel rated ti carbon emission ja 1.6 tons ko carbon dioxide chi oi bane ko si ma khang da ya tre khoina ko next is a si duwa so na green steel taxonomy na contribute to India's steel sector and global competitiveness. Going to it, it mandates the use of green hydrogen in all steel plants. No, not the green hydrogen. Si no ko have ko. It encourages steel makers to adopt lower emission technologies to meet internationally sustainable standard. Yes, kaya no the sito the target ng Europe the export to bayari to ko. It imposes penalties on steel manufacturing that exist. No, it prohibits the export of non-green steel products. No. So the answer is B. Okay. Adu matangi sa siko matangi de hen clear way na ko. Now, which of the following best describe the impact of green steel taxonomy on India's steel industry and its position in global market? It makes the use of green hydrogen. No, it has nothing to do with green hydrogen. But yes, carbon intensity handagi high target. We have to see the other renewable sources in making carbon. Okay, but sili na teko. It It incentivizes the adoption of cleaner technologies to align with global. Yeah, si chumdoi ko. So it is very soft. There is no imposition. There is no prohibition. It is very soft. Just saying that global environment ki standard natraga benchmark to putoro nang still sama tanda carbon kiam emit tau ge ko. It enforces strict penalty. No. Although it restricts the export of steel that do not qualify. No. There is no restriction, there is no imposition, just saying that you take steps, measures in order to make carbon, still making carbon, environmental friendly, carbon emission friendly, so see. So na sigisina ako'y na 26 ta June July the election tayo ko adu matang da ako'y na election matang da ako'y na tawani ngasi 30 bugtong tawsi ka aduga remaining 20 question I'll do it tomorrow, okay, at the same time, okay. So trying to solution ji ko ang tadi amutang da go to matam sida no ida pulap thumjin I want to why that I have to think of all these things, and teach, okay. Adu which of the following statements regarding star campaigners is not correct? So star campaigners nam lay so ako'y na election campaign to matam da ana criteria miyam lay no ko star campaigner kya khan ba ba kya to ba da ba ma paisa lupa kya pi da pi da ba kya ta che da yam phaje Indian election je ko asi mo thola kan da hapu harang chu wa ne ka che da yam phaje ka so na they are usually top leaders and celebrities associated with political parties. Yes, see one this one is correct, okay. They are usually the top leaders natraga celebrities. So na Modi, Amit Shah, Manipur lak matam the election campaign nila, they will be probably star campaigners, okay. Their campaign expenditure are not added to the individual candidate expenses. So individual candidate expense, individual na campaign to the lupa kya sin na biya ko piya. No imbag che de yaw le model ko conduct ko. Aduga ngasai election di kano ko yaw le ko. So na star campaign di expenditure di di pasan de hai tare unless ngasai gi ko na candidate to yaw ga star kano da campaigners na candidate yaw ga campaign to matam da di adugi poto mongonda pani ado candidate yaw ga tar di star campaigner matom to da di ngasai gi magi kano da expenditure do pa de ko so sim su ko na chumme. Next, unrecognized political parties can appoint up to 20 star campaigners. Yes, they can appoint up to 20 star campaigners ko unrecognized political party. Ano wo tholo pa mayam do ko simju chumme ana lali ji kaino. The election commission has the authority to decide who can be the star campaigner. No, it is not the election commission ko, but the political party itself which has to decide who is the star campaigner. Okay, so na siguma din pasan bay siguma je koina polity da michilines chinge ko the election gumbagi da aduga koina election gumbai da detail loiba chinge ko so pasan bay. Next, the annual India Impact Report, which provides comprehensive insights into promoting social justice and legal empowerment across India. Yeah, it's very easy, okay. Annual India Impact Report ko, it is the I pro bono. So sige NGO nam lay so moina masagi ako'y India da social issues natraga masagi judiciary issues kung mayam mo na pukalaga na mo na tawon ko. So this one is correct, okay. Yeah, question number 20 is very important, okay. It's very important. Kaya namatam sa if you see the UPSC prelims ki question ki trend of 2020, 22, 2023, 2024 adi sports ki adagidi ako'y book ki price adi author ki price ya question yam na hangmani ati question amani di yaw bahawrabane ko sahi kudingi. So duna handak India gi 2024 da outside ta aduga Oscar da hadi prize mayam phanghiba ko like Elephant Whisperer ko hadi Academy Award phanghiba ko thiba adu main tawraga koina documentary ka gi prize mayam phanghiba ko. So na hadi adu mayam thigallu adu mayam do pau and which I have put one Grand Prix da akoi Cannes Festival Film Festival 2014 da All We Imagine as Light na ngasagi documentary ma yawe ko. So sije koina phanghi documentary to kaino da kaure All We Imagine as Light ki documentary si to YouTube to yung the one. But yeah, so yam tina highly acclaimed oi ki ko si and aduna ta sidang natabida atopa prize ma'am ju phang mane inda gi documentary ko world di da ko adu ma'am yung to so na question am tang the same mani na dana si hapo ane ko ana tay ma'am ju yung to ko mai kino ma'am ko adu. Yeah, aduga next this one is important, okay. Which of the following is a feature of the Supreme Court 2000? Yeah, India the mob lynching is very much on everywhere. Every place mob lynching is there. Adi cow oigera natraga religious oigera communal oigera natraga riot to oigera conflict to oigera mob lynching yam tawe hojik ta ka. So na mob lynching gi akoina important oiba asai Supreme Court na guidelines khar pi ka. Ado si kano case mo gi ninjango Tension S Punwala versus Union of India si ka sis. Mob lynching matang da and guideline pi kiba just like kasagi ko na kaya sexual harassment dita pi kiba mai na ka Supreme Court na sexual harassment dita pi kiba mai na ka kaya minga ba do sexual harassment di kano do guideline do ka dita kaya sexual harassment di guideline do po kaya Sabitri something ano ha hai do ne to tum ro ne ba Hera Hera em na hobra. Yeah, yeah, Bisaka guidelines ko. Bisaka guidelines na sexual harassment di pigi may na kasagi mob lynching da su science sigma guidelines pi ko. So sida which of the following features karma feature no have ko si say. So inclusion of mob lynching as in non-bailable offense. No, this is not noted, okay? Kasulate ko. So na mob lynching is a bailable offense ko according to the IPC ko. Dung malate. Mandatory death punishment no. There are death penalty gumati objection na pide beate ka establishment of fast track court for listening cases which we want it but this is not no okay but kano do kay yawge ha matam sida appointment of nodal officer in every district to prevent mob violence and adu kana data da ba SP data da ba ka SP data though. So it's a very huge position. So na SP district kudimakta more balance talk to about when nodal officers appointed with them which is rank is not lesser than the SP superintendent of police ko. Adi next thing was under the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhitya 2004 what is the maximum punishment prescribed for a person involved in mob quite mob lynching da quite maximum punishment pibe abse kai no hai matam sida life imprisonment natte, fine or rupees natte, death penalty. So P ni have natte compulsory or have natte ko mob the chingda. Quite the maximum punishment ja death penalty wo P ba yai hana ngasai BNS the yaw ko sis. So CPS sim to thomasi petrodollar ka. So na petrodollar is a very interesting question, okay, which was in the newspaper, okay. So I know ko. So I know petrodollar se ka. So na ahambada US na global gi kano toring ay matam sida global dominance toring ay matam sida USSR kay ka kay ha matum sida or mawang da ka. US na ngasagi Saudi Arabia gumba petrol thokpa country mayam ga moina deal lam tong na ba deal je written that even natte adedi agreement on level natte kem ta sign tong lobam ta natte just an understanding US na kay hagi ha matam sida oil exporting nation mayam na oil je leiba matamda yoma matamda US dollar sirinnabiyu no sirinnabiyu na dillam lei leme ko sigi deal na US ta kyam advantage lei ga matam sida prithvi na kayumba oil gi business tong targadi they have to have dollar masai country lei ba ro atop currency lei ba ro dollar lei ga damne ko ana dollar sina ngasai gi world gi oil ji ko so world gi dollar ji oil ne ka dawra ha matam sida Russia da akoina panis to yam lai ba freeze to wana Russia gi billion dollar 13 billion dollar mo hadi Europe na freeze to ka China gi dollar ngatani international laktoji ka just because oil je dollar to hanji bagi ka so na sigi petro dollar ja it's a very important concept okay but aduga akoi manung changsil le yeng matam da di agreement leibra sign to ni lai te just khangna kano ne akoi khangna bi ne ko adna US na Saudi Arabia se no matter what adum kan ne ko kaino Saudi Arabia ke ka all exporting countries ma'am na ya gi po ne na a new digital currency no use of cryptocurrency no a global initiative no the system where all exporting nations receive US dollar in exchange for oil sales. Si je na hayang way IR the basics ta tamakani ka. Ajut. So na ngasi bokti question number 31 bok tor si adu hayang je mo question number 40 hayang di lotion ba yabring si ka. So I'm trying to ga na discussion to ni adu ga ngasi dak test result to haidora ga. Yeah, so dito ka aduga kanogi horen discussion to ba kanogi do revision kangbu gi do horen dang revision to ya range ka but we will not do it history, okay, we'll do something else yeah kano history di hoina black whiteboard ta tap ko ni hena nungai ba ka achit yeah so duna yeah thanks for the class, okay, we'll do only this one, okay, yeah.